Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why the heck are some hearing aids $6,000 or more and others are like $600? Are the expensive ones actually better, or are you just paying for some fancy name and slick sales pitches?
If you're navigating hearing loss or struggling with ringing in your ears, then you've come to the right place. The All Ears Hearing and Tinnitus podcast is your go-to source for expert insights, real stories, and cutting-edge solutions in hearing health. We'll dive into the latest advancements in hearing healthcare, explore groundbreaking treatments for tinnitus, and offer practical tips for better hearing. Here to help you tune into a world of better hearing, here's your host from Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus, Dr. Layne Garrett.
If you've ever walked into a hearing clinic and looked at those price tags and thought, wow, this feels like a car dealership, you're not alone. I get that reaction almost every day in our clinic, and today I'm going to give you the brutally honest answer. I'm Dr. Layne Garrett, founder of Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus in Utah, and I've been helping people hear better for over 20 years. Over that time, I fit every type of hearing aid that there is, and I've seen what works, what doesn't, and when people end up wasting money. So whether you're just starting to look for hearing help or you're wondering if it's time to upgrade to a new technology, this will show you exactly what you're paying for and how to avoid buying the wrong thing. All right, let's start with what you actually get when you pay more for premium hearing aids like the Widex Allure, the Oticon Intent, or the Starkey Omega AI24. We're talking devices that typically run between $6,000 to $8,000 or more per pair. So what does that extra money get you? First, artificial intelligence and deep neural networks. This is a game changer in modern premium hearing aids. These devices use AI that's been trained on millions of real-world sound environments. They can automatically identify whether you're in a restaurant, a car, outdoors, or just in a quiet room, and they adjust their processing in real time on their own. The deep neural networks can distinguish between speech and noise with incredible accuracy. They can identify and enhance the voice of the person speaking to you while simultaneously reducing background babble, clinking dishes, traffic, or wind noise. This isn't just a simple reduction. This is intelligent sound processing that's constantly analyzing and adapting to your environment. Some premium devices even use AI to learn your preferences over time. They remember how you like your hearing aid set in different situations and automatically adjust. It's like having a personalized hearing assistant built right into your hearing aids. Second, the processing power and number of channels in these devices. Premium devices have significantly more processing channels, sometimes 20 or more. Think of it like this. Your hearing loss isn't the same at every frequency. You might have more hearing loss in the high frequencies than in the low frequencies. Premium hearing aids can make incredibly precise adjustments across multiple frequency bands to exactly match your hearing loss pattern. It's like looking at a high-resolution photograph versus one that's really pixelated. Third, these have sophisticated directional microphone systems. Premium devices can focus on the person speaking in front of you while reducing sounds from behind and beside you. Some of these have automatic beamforming technology powered by artificial intelligence that adjusts based on where the sound is coming from. If someone behind you starts talking, the hearing aid can actually shift its focus. Now, this is critical for hearing in those challenging environments like parties or crowded restaurants. Fourth, speech enhancement features. These hearing aids don't just make things louder, they use deep neural networks to actually enhance the speech clarity while keeping the sound natural. They can preserve the nuances of speech, the inflections, and the emotional content that help you to understand more in difficult situations. If you're finding this helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I put out videos like this twice a week to help you make informed decisions about your hearing health, and subscribing helps people find this information. Now let's talk about entry-level prescription hearing aids. These typically run $2,000 to $3,500 per pair. These are still programmed by a professional, but with more limited technology. Entry-level devices typically have 4 to 8 processing channels instead of 20 or more in the premium. It's like trying to paint a detailed picture with a thick brush versus a fine brush. You can still create something useful, but you don't have the precision for fine details. They do have a more basic noise reduction system, which does help, but it's not using AI or deep neural networks. It's applying simpler, more rules-based processing. The directional microphones are also simpler, often just fixed in a straight-looking pattern rather than using adaptive artificial intelligence that responds to the environment. Here's the key difference. Entry-level devices react to sound in more basic ways. Premium hearing devices with AI actually understand the sound environment and make intelligent decisions about how to process it. The reality is, entry-level devices can work well for people who primarily are in quiet listening environments and have simpler communication needs. Let me give you some real examples. I'll have a patient, I'm going to call him Tom. He's retired and spends most of his time at home with his wife, watches TV, works in his woodshop, and has dinner with friends, occasionally in quiet restaurants. We fit him with entry-level devices, and he's been thriving with them for 3 years now. He doesn't need the AI-powered noise reduction because he's not in noisy environments a lot. For his lifestyle and listening needs, entry-level was the perfect choice, and he's getting great value from those devices. Now compare that to Susan. She's a project manager at a tech company. She's in meetings all day, often in conferences with lots of people talking. There's a lot of background noise, the air conditioner is going, and people are on their speakerphones. Initially, she tried to save money with entry-level devices first from another clinic, and she was really struggling with those. She was still exhausted every day after work because she was straining to hear, and she was missing important details in meetings and asking people to repeat themselves constantly, even with her hearing aids on. When we got her premium devices with AI processing, within a week she told me it was life-changing. The AI was automatically identifying who was speaking, reducing background noise, and making meetings manageable again. For someone in her situation, an active work life, they're in a lot of challenging listening environments, the premium technology was absolutely worth the investment. Now let's talk a little bit about over-the-counter hearing aids. These range from $200 to $1,500 per pair. Over-the-counter hearing aids are FDA regulated for people with mild to moderate hearing loss. So right away, if you have a significant hearing loss, over-the-counter isn't even an option. They're significantly cheaper than prescription devices, and for some people with very mild hearing loss who just need a little boost in specific situations, they can be helpful. But here's what you need to know. Over-the-counter hearing devices don't have the artificial intelligence and deep neural network processing that premium prescription devices have. They use very simple algorithms, and they're self-fit. You're the one programming them using an app on your phone. You're troubleshooting the problems on your own too. You're guessing whether they're set correctly or not. I saw Maria, she's a middle school teacher. Imagine having 25 kids with constant chatter and announcements blaring. She bought over-the-counter hearing aids for $800, hoping to save money. For weeks, she wrestled with the app, trying to get rid of the classroom noise. One day, a student got close and the hearing aid let out a loud whistle mid-lesson, and every kid in the classroom turned and laughed. And she was mortified. After months of struggling alone, she left those in a drawer and came to see us. When we fit her with the right prescription hearing aids, she cried. She said, "I can actually teach again." Now, would over-the-counter devices work for Tom, my retired patient in quiet environments? Maybe, if his hearing was mild enough to qualify. But for Maria in a noisy classroom all day, she needed a professional assessment, proper fitting, and technology that could handle her complex listening needs. But here's what I see happen far too often. Someone who's still working, going to social events, and needs to hear in meetings will try to save money with over-the-counter and entry-level devices, and they struggle. The devices don't perform well in background noise. They come back frustrated because they're missing conversations at family dinners. And we try to squeeze every bit of performance out of those devices. But without the artificial intelligence and advanced sound processing, we are limited by the technology. Eventually, many people update to premium devices within 18 to 24 months. And here's where the total cost of ownership comes in. They've now paid for hearing devices that didn't meet their needs, plus premium hearing devices. They would have been better off both financially and for their quality of life, starting off with the right devices in the first place. Here's something you may want to consider and think about how you change about the value in hearing care. Even the best AI-powered technology is only as good as how it's fit and verified. When you work with a qualified audiologist, you're not just buying hearing aids. You should be getting comprehensive hearing testing to understand your exact hearing loss pattern. You're getting real ear measurement verifications, and this is critical. Real ear measurements ensure your hearing aids are actually programmed correctly for your specific ear canal acoustics. And here's a big problem in our industry. Only about 30% of clinics actually will do real ear measurements, even though we've been taught that since grad school and it's the gold standard of care. Without it, your hearing aids might be under or over amplifying by 15 to 20 decibels. You could have premium hearing aids with incredible AI and deep neural networks that are programmed incorrectly and performing worse than properly fit entry-level devices. Think about it. If the AI is making decisions on incorrectly programmed baseline settings, it's like building on a faulty foundation. Your audiologist should also be counseling you about realistic expectations, training you how to use your devices and all of their features, and a hearing rehabilitation program like Lace AI, regular follow-up adjustments as you adapt to your hearing, and ongoing support when you have questions, and annual hearing evaluations to monitor changes over time. The research is clear. Professional hearing care leads to significantly better outcomes. People who work with audiologists report higher satisfaction, better speech understanding, and they're much more likely to wear their hearing aids consistently. This is why I see people struggle with over-the-counter devices, not necessarily because the technology is bad, but because there's no professional guidance, no verification, and they're not set up correctly. And then there's no support when there's problems that come up. If you're thinking about entry-level devices, even if you should have something more, there's something else you should consider. The hidden cost is often found in the extra time and appointments needed to try to optimize the performance that is fundamentally limited by not having the advanced AI processing. Or like we talked about, the cost of upgrading within a year or two because the technology isn't meeting your needs. And this is really important. A good audiologist should not push the most expensive hearing devices on everyone. They should be taking into account your specific hearing loss, your lifestyle, and your listening environments. They should also look at your dexterity, your technology comfort level, and yes, your budget. We should be making personalized recommendations, not one-size-fits-all solutions. Think about the difference between Tom and Susan in my examples. Tom needed entry-level devices for his quieter lifestyle. Susan needed premium AI-powered devices for her demanding work environment. Same audiologist, same clinic, completely different recommendations based on their individual needs. And here's something else that matters. A good provider should have payment options available. Look, I know most people don't have several $1,000s just sitting around. In our clinic, we believe that getting hearing help should not take food off anyone's table. So we work with financing options, payment plans, and we'll find a way to make it affordable for anyone who needs our help. If a provider isn't willing to have that conversation with you about making treatment accessible, that's a red flag. It also matters that your hearing care provider carries multiple brands of hearing aids. In our clinic, we work with many brands like Oticon, Starkey, Widex, and Phonak because no single hearing aid manufacturer is best for everyone. Different hearing aid companies have different strengths. Phonak tends to excel when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity and phone streaming. Widex has built a reputation for rich, natural sound quality, especially great if you love music. Oticon's strength is in open sound environments like restaurants or group conversations, where their AI handles background noise really, really well. And Starkey handles background noise in amazing ways, and is also doing some innovative things with health tracking and fall detection, which can be a great fit for certain lifestyles. So there's no one-size-fits-all brand of hearing aids. Bottom line, no matter what technology level you choose, premium with AI, entry level, or even if you decide to go with over-the-counter, verification is key. If you're working with a professional, they should be doing those real ear measurements. If they're not, ask them why. So are expensive hearing aids worth it? If you're in a challenging listening environment regularly, or if you want the best sound quality and the most natural hearing experience, premium hearing aids with AI and deep neural networks are absolutely worth the investment. The technology is genuinely better, and that translates to better hearing in real-world situations. And when you factor in the total cost of ownership, not having to upgrade as often, the math works out. But here's the catch. Even the best AI-powered technology needs to be fitted and verified with real ear measurements and supported by your provider. Entry-level devices or even over-the-counter options might be appropriate for someone with listening situations that are much more simple or in quiet environments like Tom. The key is working with someone who can assess your unique situation and recommend what's right for you and not just what's most expensive. If you want to learn more about how hearing aids work, AI in hearing aids, or what to look for when you're making this decision, check out our free learning center. The link is in the description below. If you're in Northern Utah and want to find help in finding the right solution for your specific hearing needs, you can schedule an appointment. That link is also found below. I'll see you next time.
A world of better hearing and relief from tinnitus is within reach, and we're here to help. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast right now and join us on the journey to clearer sound and a richer life. Thanks for listening to the All Ears Hearing and Tinnitus podcast with Dr. Layne Garrett. We'll see you next time.